The Los Angeles Clippers are finally looking at the tough decision of trading Kawhi.
Kawhi for the win. Touchdown! Clippers win!
After having their franchise player stuck in the middle of a salary cap investigation.
Leonard turns the corner on Bogdanovich, powers it up and in, counted and a foul!
After sending 40-year-old Chris Paul home in the middle of what was supposed to be his farewell tour.
I'm just disappointed, but I'm disappointed in the Clippers organization.
After a horrible start to a season where they were expected to do something in the West.
It's a team out there that's been full of dysfunction, okay? And it's the Clippers. They're 5-16. They're 5-16.
Step back from Harden, is off. Maxey in for the rebound, it bounces to Harden. One last chance for the Clippers, and it is no good. And the Sixers rally from double figures down for the 5th time this season.
The team that is the equivalent of the ugly cousin in Los Angeles is finally looking at making the tough choice they've been avoiding.
I think the crux maybe that viewers need to know is there are several sources, and you interview more than 24, who point to the fact that it may be time for, as they say, the Clippers to get out of the Kawhi business. That's what they said to you.
Unfortunately, this is a lot more complicated than you realize. If the Clippers navigate this well, they could finesse some star-hungry teams to hold the L on Kawhi's final years. If they don't, they could go back to being the Brooklyn Nets of the West again, and it all starts and ends with one man, Kawhi Anthony Leonard. To understand why this team is finally ready to look at the elephant in the room, you have to look at the absolute disaster the Clippers are living through right now.
Kawhi Leonard messed it all up. All the times they had a chance to make a run, like even the bubble time, Paul George was going through mental health and stuff and whatever. It just been a whole bad run. Like, even before they got Kawhi Leonard, they was in a way better position, though. When they had Shea, Lou, and all them. Now, if you think about it now, if they would have handed the keys over to Shea, shit, where would the Clippers be?
The Clippers were supposed to be a deep playoff team. On July 18th, they signed 3-time All-Star Bradley Beal.
Pops out, intercepted, lob it ahead to Beal with Bay to beat to the rim and in. Nice feed, nice finish, Clippers by 11.
Many analysts said this would change the trajectory of the Western Conference this season.
And so this is a player that has 3-time All-Star experience. He's a former All-NBA player as well. They see him as a natural, seamless fit at the starting shooting guard position after the trade of Norman Powell.
Yeah, it's sort of a clear role that he slots into for the Los Angeles Clippers.
But just as Steve Ballmer was about to do one of his dances, Beal had to undergo a season-ending hip surgery. And the team has been a disaster.
Luke Travers, who gave Kenny Atkinson some good first-half minutes. Kawhi Leonard hooks it up, rejected by Mobley. Comes right to Batum, who misfires.
What about a great defensive play, him and Mobley?
Right now, it's just Harden with James trying to stay with him.
Blocked up top by Hayes, threw it to the first row.
They started the season winning 5 games and losing 16 along the way.
A bit too strong. Here comes LaMelo ahead of the pack. Waiting on Brandon. Welcome back!
Currently, they are on pace to win 22 wins this season.
Zoo lobs it to Jones. Up high and throws it down. What a play!
For context, Vegas had them winning 50 games this season. All this while paying $50 million to Kawhi, plus aspirational top-ups, allegedly. $40 million to James Harden. They are paying top dollar to be worse than the tanking Jazz.
It's December 2nd. The Clippers are 5-16. They have to be thinking about trading some of their big parts because their offseason transactions were all swing and miss.
The problem here is that the Clippers thought they were outsmarting the rest of the league, playing checkers on a chessboard from the start. They always had a plan. The plan was 2027.
Clippers have never led in this game. They lead the series 2-1. Kawhi. Oh, he put it in! Counted on a foul!
They were going to ride out the Kawhi, PG, Harden era, survive the pick swap they gave up to trade Shea for PG.
Clippers by 1 coming out of the timeout. 4:25 to play. Jordan. Oh, my goodness! A swiveling Skywalker.
George with the flush.
Then in 2027, when a ton of money came off the books, they would pivot. That was the timeline. But like the great philosopher once said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. The 2025 reality is this: they are losing a lot. They just embarrassed a franchise legend in Chris Paul.
I'm just disappointed, to be honest. I can't think of really another word. Obviously shocked at first, but disappointed. I'm disappointed for Chris Paul, but I'm disappointed in the Clippers organization.
And are back to being seen as a poverty franchise around the association. The owner and the franchise player are being investigated for fraud. Management is being dragged through the mud for how badly they have mismanaged this whole thing.
They have a very good front office, so like you know what you're about to do.
Everybody keeps saying that.
I know
that the Clippers have this great front office based on what?
I mean, I don't know. I think they're smart in how they read it.
Well, they can be as smart as they want. They lose all the time.
Yeah.
They just lose. Screw up Blake Griffin. Screw up Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Screw up everything. You are an apologist for the Clippers, and you're not the only one.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the media is in love with that front office because, like you say, they got nice guys over there. Lawrence Frank's a good guy. Lee Jenkins is a good guy. You know what? There are a lot of good guys. They're both. I mean, how can a logical person not say these guys are bad at their jobs? They just are.
Well, if
They're
you're
bad
going
at
on
their
results
jobs.
this year, I think you have to
Clipper fans.
Leading them, according to Brian Windhorst and Tim Bontemps, to finally asking the question, if you finally admit this era failed, who do you trade, Harden or Kawhi? The ugly truth is that Kawhi is almost impossible to trade.
The Clippers sold their soul to open up a championship window, right? And don't blame them at all for doing that, for bringing in the reigning Finals MVP and a guy in Paul George who was a first-team All-NBA player at the time. Obviously, the price was steep, ended up being steeper than anybody could imagine, but they still haven't paid off that credit card bill. You're talking about pivoting from Kawhi Leonard. You're not done paying.
You're asking another team to take on a massive contract, a player who has missed huge chunks of multiple seasons, a guy in the middle of an investigation that could still blow back on the franchise, and a star whose peak realistically is behind him.
Kawhi Leonard hit it! Kawhi Leonard gives the Clippers a 2-point lead.
Under the new apron rules, teams aren't just lining up to pay $50 million for that. This is not 2019, when Toronto bet on Finals MVP Kawhi and got a title.
Looks at the clock, turns the corner for the win. Got it! Kawhi Leonard with the game winner! Hanging in the air. The ball suspended in air in some 18 years.
This is 2025, where the question isn't, how much will someone overpay for Kawhi? According to Windy, execs around the league now consider Kawhi to be a negative value contract at this point.
Kawhi Leonard only gives a damn about Kawhi Leonard. And guess what? It's too late because now he just started, I believe, the first year of a $153 million extension they gave him last year. So his trade value is not there. So now you're stuck with him and you're 5-16 and you're going absolutely nowhere.
Not because Kawhi can't still hoop. On his good nights, he still looks like a two-way monster.
Kawhi for the win! Hot damn! Clippers win! Oubre off the bounce, drives inside, goes for the layup, and a wedgie. It's stuck in there. It'll be a jump ball with 5.1 remaining.
But in the cold math of cap sheets and risk, teams are now seeing more downside than upside.
Kawhi Leonard is one of the worst free agent signings in NBA history. He has set the Clippers back 10 to 15 years. I don't know where they go from here.
Miami is the team that is being put out there as the lead to get the claw if he becomes available. And you know Heat culture specializes in taking distressed assets and making the most of them.
Get it off! Bam for three! Yes! Bam wins the game with a three! A happy ending in the Motor City.
But with Giannis potentially available soon, not even the Heat will be pulling that trigger until the Giannis sweepstakes are over. On paper, the easy answer is just trade James Harden. And there are definitely people in NBA front offices who think the Clippers will pivot from Harden instead of the Claw. Why? Because Harden's actually been more available recently.
Oh, my goodness! Second time today he's been fouled while making a three-pointer.
His contract compared to Kawhi's is seen as less radioactive. And if you're a desperate playoff team, a Harden rental still kind of makes sense. If only there wasn't one more complication for LA. You see, the Clippers can't even blow it up and tank if they wanted to. Because of the Paul George trade in 2019, the Thunder controls the Clippers' unprotected 2026 first-round pick and an unprotected 2027 pick swap.
The league is in a panic about the Thunder owning the Clippers picks these next couple of years, this year outright.
On top of that, the Clippers later sent their unprotected 2028 first to Philadelphia and gave Philly a 2029 pick swap. So from 2026 through 2029, the Clippers basically do not truly control their own first rounders. They don't fully own one outright again until 2030. They can't just say, screw it, let's trade Kawhi bottom out and rebuild through the draft. The classic blow it up, tank, draft a star move is heavily disincentivized for the Clippers because another team owns the upside of their losing. And that's the heart of the complication. If they choose to keep Kawhi and try to win, they are spending a fortune on a broken project that is the laughingstock of the league at this point. If they choose to trade Kawhi and go bad, OKC and Philly eat most of the value from your collapse. They're stuck choosing which kind of pain they want.
At some point, you got to look at your organization and whether OKC is going to get your picks or not. The people who are in charge got to make a culture change from top to bottom.
So put your GM cap on. If you were running the Clippers, do you keep betting on Kawhi Leonard, hoping there's one last healthy playoff run left? Or do you accept that this era failed, eat the embarrassment, and trade him for 50 cents on the dollar just to finally turn the page? Those are the shoes Clippers GM Lawrence Frank is wearing at the moment. Hopefully he makes the right decision for the franchise and for the fans.
As far as I'm concerned, if you look back revisionist history, at this point in time right now, you would most likely look at the Clipper trade worse than the Dallas trade for Luka.